What do you think a serious cyber attack looks like? If I asked you to imagine hackers breaking into a luxury casino, the kind of place packed with surveillance cameras, security teams, IT staff, monitoring systems, and millions of dollars worth of protection, what would come to mind? Stolen passwords? A bribed employee? Some terrifying server vulnerability buried deep in the infrastructure? Something expensive, sophisticated, and impressively technical? That would be the logical answer. The problem is, real attacks do not always care about our logic. Because one of the strangest stories in cybersecurity starts with something no sane person would ever look at and think, yep, that's probably the threat. A fish tank. Yes, seriously. According to the version of this story that has been floating around cybersecurity circles for years, attackers found a way into a casino's network through a device that was simply monitoring an aquarium. And this is usually the moment people either laugh, or assume the whole thing is nonsense. Which is fair. Because it sounds ridiculous. It sounds like the kind of story someone makes up online after too much coffee and not enough sleep. But that is exactly why it is such a good story. Because once the first laugh wears off, a much less comfortable thought starts creeping in: what if this actually makes perfect sense? Once you strip away the Hollywood fantasy of genius hackers furiously typing in dark rooms while glowing code flies across giant screens, the logic behind real attacks is often embarrassingly simple. If someone wants to get into a heavily protected building, they do not get bonus points for charging through the front door just because that is where the serious security is. They look for the thing nobody thought about. And that is the exact moment the aquarium story stops being funny. Because if this story is even remotely close to what actually happened, the truly interesting part starts after the intrusion. Getting inside is not the win. It is just the invitation. Imagine somehow ending up inside a massive locked building in the middle of the night. You are not sprinting toward the vault, because you have no idea where the vault even is. First, you explore. You test doors, you figure out what opens, you work out which hallways lead somewhere useful, you learn the layout. That is much closer to what real attacks actually look like. Not one dramatic cinematic moment. More like slowly feeling your way deeper into unfamiliar territory. And according to the version of events that has circulated for years, the attackers did not stop at the aquarium device. The aquarium was never the objective. It was just the way in. From there, the attackers reportedly moved deeper into the casino's internal systems, eventually reaching information connected to VIP clients. And this is where the story stops being weirdly entertaining. Because data sounds harmless. Until you remember that data means real people. Their habits, their movements, their preferences, their financial connections. And if the commonly repeated version of this story is true, the stolen information may have been exfiltrated through the exact same device where the breach began. The aquarium. And that is the exact moment this stops being a bizarre casino story. Because once you accept that this logic actually works, the setting barely matters anymore. Replace the luxury casino with an ordinary home. A front door camera, a smart lock, a baby monitor, a connected TV. Suddenly, the question becomes much more personal. If someone wanted the easiest, quietest, most overlooked way into your digital life, which device would they choose? Because the most dangerous door rarely looks like a door.